It is 12 noon across the great state of Alabama. Happy lunch hour. Happy Friday the 13th. Happy pre-Valentine's Day coming up tomorrow.
You're going to put on your Jason Voorhees hockey mask for Leanne tonight?
No, it's tomorrow night.
No. Not a boy.
We continue to talk about the legal wranglings around the Southeastern Conference. Trinidad Chambliss gets an additional year yesterday in a Mississippi courtroom. Joey Aguilar is going to step foot in a courtroom in about 30 minutes from now, and we are so happy.
Oh, he's a broadcasting legend.
He is a broadcasting legend.
He's got great hair.
He does.
Really good, hair.
That's all you got?
No, I have a lot more. I just didn't want it to get too much weirder. I'll just wait for him to join us. There he is. Hey, Tom.
It's already weird.
Yeah.
Already weird.
It always is with Landrum. You know that, Tom.
Yeah, I'm just glad he didn't lean into that by saying he's got a really good blank as opposed to he's got really good blank.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more family friendly.
Good call there. Are you enjoying the Olympics, by the way?
Yeah, I'm kind of mad, though. I was watching Skeleton today.
I love Skeleton.
As everybody was. I'm sure all your listeners were. And I'm a big fan of the drones. And I want to know why the drone won't follow the skeleton sled all the way down the run. They peel off after like the first quarter of the run, and they make it seem like the sled is so much faster than the drone.
No
These
way.
drones can fly. Like that may be. I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna grab some headlines. Okay, it might be a little confrontational. The drone for these Winter Olympics. And it doesn't work in football and it doesn't work in baseball. But the drone for these Winter Olympics may be up there with the 1st and 10 line in terms of broadcasting breakthroughs.
That's a really good call. Shot tracker for golf was really big, too.
Oh, God, yeah. Shot tracker.
Right?
Yes.
But no, that's a really good call because I'm watching the downhill the other day, and one of our skiers is going 90 miles an hour. And I'm sitting there going, well, surely that's a drone. It's not a cable they're running down the mountain, or is it just a really fast skier trailing behind with a GoPro? I opted to vote for the drone, but here's 3 things that I remember from the pandemic. 3 of the highlights of my sports entertainment. One was Tom Hart calling Korean baseball.
Yeah, he was in Korea. Like he flew to Korea and he did those games.
Right.
That's what's so amazing about it.
2 was Johnsonville sausage cornhole. They still did that with the mask and all the plexiglass.
Yeah.
And then the 3rd one
drone racing
would have been drone racing.
Yeah.
I got into drone racing a little bit. Did you ever get into drone racing during the pandemic?
No. Because to me, here's the difference. Drone racing is kind of like watching dudes on Twitch play video games.
Yeah. Okay.
We're with you there.
The coverage, and that is a skill. And I actually watched a video interview with one of the drone pilots talking about like how much the drones weigh and how fast they can go and what are the regulations. I'm totally nerding out on the broadcast aspect of it. But no, drone racing doesn't really do it for me.
Okay, so
following other racers does.
Yeah, okay, but speaking of the drones, I do have to know this, since you've done a deep dive down the rabbit hole of the drones at the Olympics. Why do we continue to hear the drone during the broadcast of the shot of the drone? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, why am I still hearing the propellers of the drone?
Well, you can't take that's a great question. And that's the only downside to this is the sound of the slushing or the swishing or the ice, whatever you want from those skiers is what really helps pay it off.
Gotcha. Okay,
but you can't
makes
get
sense.
the natural sound from that camera. Now, I wonder, I've asked the same question in my mind. And I know a lot of people at NBC, and I really want to bother them with this question, like they don't have anything else going on. But I wonder if then because you notice like in other sports, the audio is mixed to the camera that you are seeing closest to the action at any moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, we got it.
So I wonder if you could just mute that drone mic and go with the other mics that are on the course. It would be a little bit more complicated, but I agree. I think hearing that is the only
good call. No, that's a good call there. As far as assignments, not just broadcasting assignments, just an assignment with the network to go over there. Is that pretty competitive, or is that an all hands on deck? You're pretty much guaranteed to go.
Oh no, I think for the NBC folks, it's it's a badge of honor. It is all hands on deck in many ways. And a lot of the guys, I was just texting with one of the play-by-play guys who does curling, and a lot of the announcers are actually in Connecticut and doing it remotely, just like I did with Korean baseball.
Gotcha.
The premier events, the skiing, even the I believe the half pipe guys are over there, but like the skiing, the figure skating, those premier events, they're all on site. But I would guess, I'm just guessing here, I guess 90% of them are stateside and doing it remotely, staying up all night.
I'm curious, one Olympic sport that might have been out of your wheelhouse that you would love to call. Which one would it be in the Winter Olympics?
Oh,
out of your wheelhouse.
Well, I would be useless on figure skating. I did swimming with Rowdy Gaines a few times, and I was just like, let me just shut up and you go to work.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
fantastic.
You're the Michael Jordan of this. I will add nothing. I think downhill, like either the Super G or the slalom.
Okay.
To me, that's the most exciting sport to be had. I mean, bobsled too. I like bobsled over luge and double luge and skeleton, but it would have to be Olympic specific for it to really stand out. I like Stanley Cup hockey, but I wouldn't get really excited about Olympic hockey. I know there's a medal on the line, but it's like, oh, you can do that any other 8 months out of the year. Give me bobsled or downhill.
Right.
Bobsled.
By the way, if you did snowboard, like I feel like there's certain. My wife actually asked the question last night.
Yeah.
She said, "Why do the skiers wear those tight clothes and the snowboarders wear?" I was like, "Because they're cool, and also you need all those pockets for your weed."
Yeah.
Like
there's no doubt, Tom. There's no doubt.
There's no doubt. So
that's a prerequisite to snowboard at that level. You've got to be high when you do it.
I would think so. I don't know for experience, but yeah, that would definitely be out of my reach.
All right, Tom, let's talk a little hoops. You've got Auburn coming up this weekend, an Auburn Tiger team that has lost 3 in a row, and they keep sliding down in bracketology. When you see this Auburn team under a first-year head coach, Stephen Pearl, what do you see? What kind of trend do they need to stop to get back in the winning things?
Yeah, we had the game. Dane Bradshaw and I had the game in the jungle when they beat Arkansas pretty good. And in that game, Acuff only had 1 assist, and I think that's kind of the secret to slowing down Arkansas. Razorbacks have 3 different injuries right now to key players. Malik Ewan took an elbow to the head the other night. He's got 4 stitches. I think he'll probably play. Carter Knox and DJ Wagner, 2 starters, are out. But the weird part, and it's hard to judge against LSU because they're having a really tough season, but the weird part is it feels like the Arkansas coaching staff kind of got let off the hook by taking 2 guys out of the rotation and being able to play, really 6.5 guys and not worry about minute distribution. I think that simplification has helped them, and their 2 freshman guards are as good as it gets in the country. If I were Auburn, I'd be really concerned with defending those guards, specifically Acuff. He had like 13 drives to the basket against LSU. And Tahad Pettiford, I thought, got attacked by Alabama specifically. And one of the things that Auburn does that can hurt them and put them in that position is they switch just about every screen. And if you're Arkansas, you're going to find ways to get the ball into Acuff's hands so he can match up with Pettiford and try to take him to the hole. And you're going to need either help defenders or rim protectors. And that wasn't there last 5 minutes against Alabama. So I think Stevens in a must. I don't want to say must win because the schedule is so good and the league is so good that you can lose 4 in a row and then you win 2 more and you're right back at it. I mean, look, Texas got in the tournament last year, and I don't think they won more than 2 games in a row the entire conference season. So I know it's not as good as it was last year, but that opportunity will still be available to you. Auburn just got to build on what they did against Arkansas, a month ago, and try to repeat that. Won't be as easy on the road, but I got to tell you, I'll just be honest. Like the atmosphere at Neville Arena this week was the worst I've seen it for a conference game since Tony Barbee was there.
I heard that from someone else, Tom.
It was listless and lifeless, and students walked out. I think it was like maybe the under four timeout. I've never seen that place from a student section empty like that. That was that was disappointing just as an outside observer.
Not going to ask you on all the specifics, if you want to offer it, of course, but on Charles Bediako and that whole ruling. But Alabama moving forward, last two games, their second half output against Auburn, and then what we saw this week against Ole Miss. You're going to win a lot of basketball games doing that. What do you see as far as Alabama, the rest of the regular season, Tom, and then potentially what does that ceiling look like when it comes to March?
Well, NATO's best teams have been when they've had a rim protector or a defensive stopper. I keep thinking about how good Herb Jones was, and on that team defensively. Um, the teams that fail to deliver are the ones that have guys playing out of position in the post or are soft in the post. I thought Grant Nelson just got exposed numerous times because he was forced to play out of position due to injuries. So I don't know what that will look like for them going forward. The flip side is just to say screw it and throw caution to the wind, and just say, all right, well we're gonna go 100 miles an hour, right? And we're not gonna give you an opportunity to beat us inside. We're gonna push our tempo, and I don't know if that's wise to do on the road. I don't know if that's wise to plan for that approach in the tournament where possessions shrink and the games get slowed down. But it's obviously a very thin margin for error when you're missing a guy who, and let's be honest. I mean, his value to the team, even though they lost a couple of games with him, was incalculable. I mean, he got the hard hat award. He didn't miss a shot against Auburn. That's a difference maker. And I told Stephen Pearl this, and I would think that this impact goes a long way. If I were an opposing coach that lost to Alabama with Charles Bediako, I know the temporary restraining order said Alabama cannot be punished for using him. That doesn't mean that Auburn can, or any opponent that lost to him, or should be. And I would appeal directly to the selection committee, and I would say, listen, that player was never eligible. It was just a restraining order that got him on the court. That result should not be on our team sheet, should not be considered. And guys, guess what happens if you do that? If you take that away, and I don't expect the league to do it in terms of the conference race. That won't happen, nor should it. But just the numbers change. And now all of a sudden, A&M's numbers look better. You lose a loss on your schedule. Auburn has played the toughest schedule in the country. Bruce did his son no favors when he put that non-conference together.
No, he didn't.
But you take that one away, and this might end up being a bubble team down the stretch, Auburn, or it might be the difference between being a 6 seed or an 8 seed, and that is a massive difference when it comes to getting out of the first weekend. I wouldn't hesitate to appeal to the committee in that regard, just like you would appeal to the committee for playing X number of games without your injured star.
Tom Hart from the SEC Network joining us here on Three Man Front for a couple more minutes. He's got the Arkansas-Auburn game coming up tomorrow night. So speaking of the SEC being as deep as it is, Tom, the very latest from Joe Lunardi, he's got 11 SEC teams in, but 2 of those 11 are part of the last 4 in, Texas and Missouri. Of those 2 clubs, both of them, one or none of them, which one should be the most worried about being on the bubble for the NCAA tournament?
Well, Missouri made a conscious decision, Dennis Gates did, to play a non-conference schedule that was going to leave them vulnerable if you only focused on the non-conference. And he was confident that the conference schedule, should they finish even 2 games below 500, we had a number of teams at 8 and 10 get in the tournament last year, that the conference schedule would be good enough to get them in. They did themselves no favors. They got blown out by Illinois. They got blown out by Kansas. They had a non-con win against a very average, below average Minnesota team. And there was one other non-conference that I'm missing that they lost. But they've got quad 1A wins at home against Florida, which looks better and better every day, and on the road at Kentucky in Rupp Arena for the first time ever, which certainly looks better. So there are no bad losses in terms of metrics. How they lost a couple of those non-cons look bad, but there aren't any bad losses on the schedule, and you have two wins that are almost as good as anybody else's wins in the country. It's probably some Big Ten teams that have better. So I think Missouri's in good shape should they be able to finish, and they got plenty of opportunities still in front of them. In fact, they still have Arkansas twice in the schedule, home and road. Texas is a different story. I'm still looking for, like, what is that real big signature victory for them to carry them through? And it's not this is year one of the Sean Miller era. It will be a much more Sean Miller type team in terms of toughness next year. So I kind of feel like he's playing with house money in that regard. But I was surprised to see 11. I think the limit is going to be 10 just because, we've started the second turn through the schedule. I think there are going to be enough losses to those teams that are sitting on the bubble that there's probably only room for 10. And I think the other thing that's going to come up is the LSUs and the South Carolinas of the world, LSU specifically. Those quadrants that they live in are going to continue to drop. A road win at LSU is very close to no longer being a quad one victory. And so that's only going to hurt the league. This league got better over the last few years when the bottom of the league improved and the metrics, and you couldn't ever get hurt. But those are two teams that will likely hurt their brethren when it comes to what the computers say.
Hanging out with our friend Tom Hart, ESPN, the SEC Network. All of our guests join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Did want to talk SEC football quickly. We had it seemed like a lot compared to other years, coaching changes in the SEC head coaching ranks. I want to ask you either specific head coach or staff, and I guess it wouldn't apply to Ole Miss and LSU since they basically swapped, but that you're going to miss the most visiting with.
We got really close with Mark Stoops over the years. Like it or not, we had a ton of Kentucky games. And I just remember going in there, this was years ago, and it was like our fourth time we had him. And he looked at us and he goes, "What do you guys want to tell me about my team?"
You guys have had a ton of Kentucky. Weren't you the mayor of Lexington at one point on this show? Didn't we call you that?
Still am. Yeah. The era never ends. It was a byproduct of, they have to play X number of night games during Keeneland in October. So we were up there a lot. And just to take you behind the scenes, our meetings with coaches are the most valuable when we don't have to go over the minutia of tell me more about your left tackle. We know about your left tackle. We know who's injured. We just saw you. We know what the weaknesses are, with your quarterback, your play call. And we can talk more big picture stuff or just kind of do deep dives and dial into specific topics. We were in there one time when Josh Allen, the defensive end, was meeting with us, and we showed him the video and showed him the stance that he was tipping his pass rush, and he had no idea.
Oh, wow.
So that's what happens when you kind of get to know a program and you watch them that much and that regularly. I would put Stoops up there. Now I'm really excited about their new staff. I mean, I think they're going to be wonderful, and they've got great new energy. Now, do they have the pieces to win year one? Who knows? I was told the other day, guys, by somebody who puts these numbers together, that the top 6 teams in the SEC, the top 6 programs, and probably the top 5 are probably easy. 6 and 7 may be interchangeable. So I didn't ask for definition. Top 6 teams will spend $40 million on their rosters.
Oh, wow.
This upcoming football season.
Wow.
Remember, Ohio State 2 years ago won the national title with a $20 million roster.
It's inflation, Tom. It's inflation.
It's a tariff.
Shot up for
That's
everybody.
what it is. Just blame the tariff.
That's right. You want to be able to buy grapes. You better double your salary.
Oh, Tom, listen, we appreciate you carving some time out for us. It's always great to catch up. Have a great call tomorrow night, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. Landon, hey, don't sell yourself short. You've got great hair, too.
Hey, man, always thank you.
I wanted to make your day.
You know what? You're on my Mount Rushmore with Ness and somebody else.
I want to know which part of me. I hope it's my face.
It's definitely shoulders up. Yeah.
All right, Tom.
All right, fellas.
Take care.
Have a great weekend.
All right, you too. That is Tom Hart from ESPN and the SEC Network on the call tomorrow night as the Auburn Tigers take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. He was on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Oh, we got a chatty group today. Text line is open. We'll get to your text next on 3-Man Front.
Great conversation with Tom Hart from the SEC Network on the call tomorrow night, Arkansas and Auburn. If you missed, Wimp Sanderson joined us in hour number one. Mike Rodak from Bama 247. Brett Norsworthy from WHBQ Radio in Memphis. He'll be joining us coming up in about 10 minutes from now. So Joey Aguilar, he has made his way inside the courtroom there in Knox County as the preliminary injunction hearing is moments away from getting underway. And we will try to dip in and out of coverage. It is getting huge national and local television coverage, just like yesterday's Trinidad Chambliss's case over in Pittsboro, Mississippi. So we'll keep our eyes on that courtroom and see if Joey Aguilar does indeed get awarded a preliminary injunction against the NCAA, which would allow him to play an additional year of college football. So we will keep you posted on what is going on there. it's going to be a beautiful weekend and a better chance for you to get out to I-459 exit 32 here in Central Alabama, and that is trustful, and that is courtesy GMC. Right now, they've got over 50 2026 GMC Sierras on the ground, and you could save up to $12,000 off MSRP on all trim levels to choose from there at Courtesy GMC. They got a 9.5 acre lot, and I went by there 2 days ago, and the inventory is just through the roof, and they've got deals galore. They've also extended the $399 lease and sign and drive on the 2026 Canyon Elevation in stock. They started with 17. Now they just don't got a few left. So you need to take advantage of that this weekend if you're looking for a lease and sign. If you purchase a brand new Courtesy GMC vehicle, you're going to get a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty on all new GMCs. You can check out all the makes and models of their certified pre-owned vehicles. As a matter of fact, speaking of the pre-owned vehicles, are you looking to sell yours? And if you are, Courtesy is looking for some pre-owned inventory to acquire, which means just stop by and see Courtesy, and they're going to give you a buy bid within 10 minutes. Very quick process. So if you're looking to sell your vehicle, they're looking to buy. They're at Courtesy GMC. Get by and see them, I-459, exit 32, or check their online inventory out at courtesybirmingham.com.
Jock's text line is open 205-834-9450. We're going to take you there now. Going back to our phone call with Tom. This listener texted in as a proud former Lexingtonian. Tom Hart is my mayor forever. Thank you for the text. Clay sent us in a picture of a conversation we had yesterday, maybe the day before, on my grandfather's Suzuki Sidekick. He has spotted one. Sent us in a picture. Thank you for texting that in.
It's a pretty blue Sidekick.
It is. No context. The question was, do they offer finger painting? Brandon text in
Was that
Conrad.
Faye? Was that Faye that sent that in?
It seems it was not Faye.
No.
That's the top 5 text we've ever gotten, I think.
Brandon says Conrad's luge partner should be Don Don. I agree. They're going to have to fight for who's on top. Ian Westbrook.
Are there any winners in that one?
Yay. You said winners? Conrad, going to be top or bottom for the luge. They might need to rock, paper, scissors for the bottom position. Thank you, Ian. We're trying to get this worked out right now.
I think you'd rather be on the bottom, wouldn't you? Than the top? From like a safety standpoint.
We asked Rodak. Rodak agreed when he was on with us earlier. But Rodak, he's a tall dude.
He's bigger than me, yeah.
He's going to have to be the base.
He would.
You're going to have to
Was
be
he
the little...
6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, he's big. He's tall.
You're going to have to be the sprinkles.
That's fine.
All right.
I've lived my whole life being the sprinkles.
Don Don says, hello, everyone. First, I hope my female friends, Paige, Miss Jackie, Molly, BB, Maria, Mary, and your beautiful wives have a blessed Valentine's weekend. Conrad, don't get in trouble. Also, Auburn football on a roll in recruiting, and Auburn baseball starts tonight, preseason top 10. Basketball, I've given up on.
There it is.
Thanks. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yes, college baseball underway today.
Your State of the Plains report with Don Don.
I appreciate the shout out to my mother-in-law on Valentine's Day.
Oh, did he include that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yes, my mother-in-law was thrown in there.
Yeah. Yeah, she might be flattered. Dylan from Jasper. The NCAA has hit rock bottom this week when lawyers walk out of the courthouse before the verdict's even announced. It's disrespectful and disturbing, especially when the kid deserved it. Deserved to get the eligibility, I'm guessing what they're saying.
You know, the NCAA heard 6 times, all of this information that we heard over the course of yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
6 times. And not one single time did they move off their original position.
No.
And then you went through that whole dog and pony show, and then, you know, you tuck your tail between your legs and you head to Knox County before the judge even comes back with his ruling. It was just weird.
It was.
I mean, he was talking about a medical red shirt.
Just based on the explanations that Chambliss's team had, I did kind of want to see more from the NCAA. Like, I see him now. I didn't see him there. I think we can all look at Trinidad Chambliss and say there had to have been something wrong.
I mean, they're going to take another loss today or whenever the judge decides to give a ruling. But they do have the win, and they will always have the win in Tuscaloosa.
Can't go 1-2 if you're not 1-1.
JR says, LOL, I'm a judge's son. It was over before it started.
It was just odd. I mean, you brought it back up, just not cross-examining his mother, not showing up for the. It's like they were so confident that they were going to win, and then at the flip of a switch, they decided, we have no shot. Let's get out of here.
Howie texting in. He says, when I was in the Army, spent 2 years in Germany, took a 4-day trip during Memorial Day in Nice. It's on the French Riviera. Some beaches are nude or topless. Very beautiful city. By the way, if they win in the luge, scorpion shots for everyone. What's a scorpion shot? I was a bartender. I don't even know what's.
Oh, that was when he was on the cruise. It was I forgot what the liquor was, but they had like baby scorpions that you put in the shot. Great.
All right, Brett Norsworthy from WHPQ Radio. He will join the program next.
12:35, three-man front on this Friday. Landrum, Pat, Conrad, and Molly. Tom Hart, ESPN, the SEC Network. Talking all things SEC, basketball included. You can find that on the podcast there at jocksfm.com. Appreciate all our listeners there at Jocks Mobile, at Jocks Montgomery, there in the capital city, up in North Alabama and Huntsville, the surrounding area, and those watching on YouTube, courtesy of our friends at Jocks TV. We appreciate you tuning in. We got the Olympics going on. We do have men's singles skating, I think, and the quad god. I read it where health is his primary focus, but if he was feeling good today, he was going to attempt the quadruple axel, which seems like a lot of axles, Pat.
Yeah. 4 more than I can do.
Yes. The once banned move, but he's all about that if he can do it. Very impressive, the quad god.
Joining us down the Higginbotham Hotline from WHBQ Radio, you can hear him weekly here on Three Man Front during the college football season. Great to catch up with our good friend Brett Norsworthy. Brett, I hope you're doing well on this Friday.
I'm doing well, and what a kind introduction, and I'm very honored that I join y'all weekly during the college football season. How are my friends doing? Landrum, I finally got my voice back. I quit using it, and I got warm.
Hey, before we talk about Trinidad, just a personal note, did you get socked in pretty good around the Memphis metropolitan area due to the ice storms and everything that took place a couple weeks ago?
Pat, we were very lucky. We did not get the ice. We got a lot of snow.
Okay.
I'm going to say 8 to 10 inches over
Good.
two pretty big compacting snows. But Oxford just got hammered. Just a fine line, between Memphis and where I live and Oxford, about 70 miles saved us. But I was there Wednesday for the Alabama Ole Miss basketball game and was there all day and stayed and went to the game and stayed Wednesday night. And the devastation, the destruction is really something. There's not a tree in Oxford that doesn't have a fresh cutting on it. I mean, you can see where people and what they've done between FEMA and the state and the city and the county of Lafayette County and what all's been done to just get school started back last Monday. It was too dangerous for people to walk around with all those dangling branches, but a lot done. You will definitely see a different Grove next fall because of it.
Mm. Well, Brett, let's talk about Trinidad Chambliss. You and I were going back and forth before the festivities started yesterday, and you felt pretty strongly about what the outcome was going to be. Just your take on what took place yesterday down in Pittsboro, Mississippi.
Well, I know this. If Ole Miss goes on and has the season that many of us think they can have in 2026, the Grove's going to look very different with Trinidad leading the team through it, for one thing.
Yeah.
But also, when we get around to if Ole Miss were able and fortunate enough to win it all, I think my new favorite judge. I always thought William Rehnquist and Antonin Scalia was my favorite judge, but they've been replaced by Judge Whitwell, and we got to get him a national championship ring.
We were watching it, and I saw shots of the town. I found the restaurants. I don't know if you've ever been to Tonelli's there in Pittsboro, but what is Pittsboro? Is this like Oxford sneezed and there's Pittsboro?
Yeah, Pittsboro could be any town USA. Calhoun County is a great place, and there's so many great places across the South that we all know about and have traveled through. And yesterday to see it, Dateline, Pittsboro, and Calhoun County, and Judge Whitwell, and everything that went on, and I felt very confident. And now it's football time. Now it's get to work because the schedule is brutal. Opening night for Ole Miss, I think it's going to be on Sunday night of Labor Day on national TV. Will be against Louisville, and Louisville beat 2 college football playoff teams last year. Beat James Madison and beat Miami, and in head-to-head, Louisville beat Kentucky a lot easier than Ole Miss did last year.
Will that be in Oxford? Is that a home game? I'm sorry, I don't have the yes.
No, that will be in Nashville at the Titan Stadium on Sunday night of Labor Day weekend.
Oh, wow. Might have to make a trip up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a good trip.
It's already fun looking at some of these slates that we have. Brett, going back to the decision in Trinidad Chambliss and what he potentially means for this Ole Miss team, we were talking about the financial ramifications. Had the judge not ruled in his favor, favor and how much that would have meant. But you think about all the other ramifications. We're talking potentially about the tenure of one Pete Golding as the head coach at Ole Miss. Having Trinidad Chambliss, I think, is your first season as the full-time head coach. That probably goes a long way.
There's been a lot of Ole Miss head coaches in their first game as permanent head coach that hadn't had Trinidad Chambliss out there at quarterback. And he will have that. And will also have behind him Kawan Lacey. And, right there with those two and three returning in the offensive line, what Ole Miss has done in the portal, what they've done at tight end with Deuce Alexander and with the players at wide receiver. And, with the offensive mindset of Joe Judge and John David Baker and Coach Pete Golding, that we're going to keep the same offense that we had under Lane. It's going to be high scoring. But next year, Ole Miss will be a defensive team more like 2024 than last year. We didn't really win a game last year because of our defense. It played good and it had stops at times. But next year, it'll be a defense that you can really ride. You can ride a tailback, tight end, play defense, and special teams. And then our 25-year-old sophomore punter from Australia, and then I think the best kicker in the country and the hero of the Sugar Bowl, Lucas Carnero.
We just had Tom Hart from the SEC Network on a few moments ago, and before he left, we kind of asked him a football question, and he didn't give us the six, but he told us that already some ESPN analytics, some stuff that they have already been looking at, saying that in the Southeastern Conference this fall, that there's going to be 6 teams, and they're very interchangeable in regards to the way they look on paper currently. Do you think the SEC is going to be that competitive towards the top end of the league as Tom Hart was giving us the indication, at least the metrics right now internally at ESPN looks that way?
Pat, Tom is right on. It's going to be brutal. And it was the first time I ever saw the SEC really kind of bullied and the public driving them into something. Now here we are with the ninth game that I think is better for the customer, better for the consumer, better for the season ticket value for people, but a lot worse for coaches and teams trying to make a 12-team college football playoff that we didn't expand. And we know that committee loves the left-hand column. Oh, they won 11 games. Yeah, but who did they play? And we can't ever get around to that. And that's even with the dumbest man in college sports being on it. And Hunter, you're a joke from Arkansas. How would he ever know what a good team looks like? He can't look out his window and ever see one. And we know that 9-3 has no value. Well, my logjam of 9-3s I had last summer, I'm afraid really could come true this year, but there will be teams that separate themselves to 10-2. Surely that will be enough. It would not have been enough for Ole Miss last year. It was for Oklahoma, but if Ole Miss had lost one of those November games to either South Carolina or Florida, or even the Egg Bowl to Mississippi State, and I was very scared of that game. Y'all know I was. If they'd lost any of those games, Ole Miss would have been left out at 10-2. So if 10-2 doesn't get you some currency, what are we doing playing all these tough schedules and like Alabama opening with a good opening day opponent in East Carolina? And as I said, Ole Miss opens against Louisville. LSU opens against Clemson. Not everybody's opening against those kind of teams, but some are playing non-conference teams with pulses, and then you get into that 9-teamer, and some are going to have only 4 home games. We only have 1 open day. It's brutal for everybody out there next year. Now, I trust ESPN's analytics, but today at 5:30, we are unveiling our very first way too early college football playoff bracket. And y'all know me joining y'all. I ain't scared to unveil it with y'all.
Yes.
Show.
All right, let's go.
I've got 4 from the SEC in no certain order. Texas, I guess I do have order because I have them seated. Texas, Ole Miss, Texas, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU. I've got 4 from the Big Ten: Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, and USC. 1 from the Big 12 in Texas Tech. 1 independent in Notre Dame. 1 from the ACC in Miami, and 1 from the Group of 6. Our good buddy Dan Mullen with UNLV.
Oh my goodness!
Hey,
Dan Mullen makes the college football playoff.
so the way too early. Brett Norsworthy, top 25 for next year. Texas, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU out of the SEC, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, USC out of the Big 10, Miami out of the ACC, Texas Tech out of the Big 12. Your independent is Notre Dame, and don't forget about UNLV.
And y'all will love, I've got it all the way through the bracket. I got on campus, Georgia beating UNLV in the 5-12 game, Ohio State over USC in the 6-11 game, Ohio State winning that game. No, I'm sorry, USC winning that game in the upset. Miami loses to 10 seed LSU as the 7 seed. Number 8 Ole Miss in Oxford against number 9 Michigan.
Ooh.
Ole Miss advances to the Rose Bowl. College football heaven for me. To play Oregon on New Year's Day. Texas loses to LSU in the Cotton Bowl. Notre Dame beats USC in the Fiesta Bowl on December 30th, and Georgia beats Texas Tech in the Peach Bowl on New Year's Day. That it sets up the semifinals of, here we go again, another Sugar Bowl of Ole Miss in Georgia, the Orange Bowl, LSU and Notre Dame, National Championship game in Vegas, Ole Miss in a rematch with Lane Kiffin and LSU for September.
That's fun.
Hotty toddy, burn it down.
No, that would be fantastic.
Wow.
That would be
told
great.
I love it. I love the idea of Dan Mullen having to go play Kirby Smart actually in Athens, Georgia, and not Jacksonville.
There's nothing better than him at UNLV, and I know every now and then he has to say, "Go Rebels."
Never thought of it.
Oh, man. My goodness gracious. Well, Brett, listen, we appreciate you hopping on. We just wanted to get your feelings on yesterday's court hearing. And before you know it, we will all be back together down in Tampa hanging out during SEC Media Days. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you, friend.
We sure will. Happy Valentine's. Everybody enjoy with your loved ones.
Sounds good. Thank you, Brett.
Thanks, Brett.
That is Brett Norsworthy, WHBQ Radio, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. The Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. We do have some updates coming from the Joey Aguilar hearing that is going on currently in Knox County. We'll give you the latest there here on Three Man Front. What a great show today. Appreciate everybody joining us. Wimp Sanderson, Mike Rodak, Tom Hart, Brett Norsworthy. We still got an hour and 9 minutes to go. You can be part of the fun and frivolity. 1-800-239-WJOX. Courtesy GMC text line. Always open at 205-834-9450. Keeping one eye on what's going on up in Knox County, Tennessee, as Joey Aguilar and his attorneys are battling with the NCAA as we speak. Aguilar's attorneys just admitted in open court that if the court does not grant him this injunction and his football eligibility will end, he will lose between $2 and $4 million. So obviously that is the range that the University of Tennessee is willing to pay him to be the starting quarterback. It's funny because they were offering $6 million for Ty Simpson.
Yeah, I wonder if, well, doesn't matter. I guess you could prove it. I would think $2 million probably more the case for Joey Aguilar, and they're just guesstimating up to $2 million in additional NIL. He's not getting $4 million, but maybe it's that dire of a situation there.
Anybody could see this in you go on to.
He stands to lose money though, for sure, because he's not going to get that in the NFL.
Oh gosh, no, not at all. Aguilar is 24 years old. His birthday is June 16th. He will be 25 years old if he is granted the injunction once the football season starts. Keep in mind, Chris Winkie was 28 years old, I think.
He was 20. Yeah, he was up there. Now, we talked about another 25-year-old who just got granted his 9th year, but he's had 93 surgeries. Mm-hmm. He's got a wife and 2 kids. Aguilar, is he married?
I do not know that.
Can't remember.
Winkie was 28 years old. Winkie beat out Josh Heupel for the Heisman Trophy.
That's right.
And Brandon Whedon was, 28?
Mm-hmm.
His last year at Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Thanks for choking against Iowa State.
Yeah, it was big.
That's a good one.
Paved the way.
Mm-hmm. The attorneys for the NCAA, they have already filed briefs. They have given strong accusation of favoritism, calling the court, "This court bleeds orange." They also blamed Aguilar, saying that he has been forum shopping because originally he was involved in the Pavia case. Remember, Pavia and his attorneys were actually looking at the potential of another year of eligibility, and Aguilar was a part of that lawsuit. And then he left that lawsuit to go do his own thing, and that's when he went and got the temporary restraining order, and then now he's trying to get a preliminary injunction based on him leaving the Aguilar case. So the NCAA attorneys basically taking the old playbook that they had, accusing the court system in the state of Alabama was all roll tide, roll tide. Now they're saying that this whole court bleeds orange.
Yeah. Well, we assumed that it did. Just going back, you were talking about Chris Winkie. And I started thinking, all right, we've had other older football players prior to NIL. In some cases, who's the oldest? How about this? There was a kicker, Alan Moore. I don't know why I forgot this story.
Is this the guy that's like 60 years old?
61 years old, yep. Faulkner University, Montgomery.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a couple years.
2011.
Okay.
He was a kicker. You had Tom Thompson at 61 years old, played at Austin College. I remember Austin College. They're the Roos. They used to play Birmingham Southern Division III. He was a kicker back in 2009. But not to be topped, Joe Thomas Sr., the oldest person to play Division I football, played in 2016 for South Carolina State at the age of 55. He carried the ball for 3 yards. Remember a guy with last name Frisbee at South Carolina? Wide receiver? This was not that long ago. Tim Frisbee?
It's a great name.
In 2005, at 40 years old, played wide receiver in the SEC.
That's wild.
Or they were, well,
that's wild.
Yeah, they were in the SEC. So there have been other old guys that have played. A lot of them kickers, though.
Hey, don't give up on those dreams.
And a lot of them
Keep
put
working.
in for one, hey, this was your dream. Congratulations. The 1 o'clock hour, full of questions and surprises. Next.